often simple. It's one fundamental principle being use fresh seasonal ingredients. And so when making something that only requires a few ingredients, I find it imperative to get my hands on the freshest produce. So a trip to the market is necessary. Look at those potatoes. You don't find those at your local superstore. Signor Franco was telling me that he dug those out yesterday. Signor Franco, me ne dà un chilo e mezzo, devo fare gli gnocchi. And when making gnocchi, if you use the right type of potatoes, it's really, really easy because you don't have to add a lot of flour because these potatoes are quite starchy. And so your gnocchi will be so tender and pillowy, they will melt in your mouth. Perfetto, grazie. I have a lot of friends who would rather set their hair on fire than making gnocchi from scratch because for some reason they think that it's complicated, but I assure you, so long as you have the right potatoes, is really, really easy. They've been boiled, so they're quite hot to handle. So I've got my sister Alessandra here, enlisted to help me out with the peeling. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do really is peeling them, and then we're going to pass them through a potato ricer. When you boil them, just make sure that you boil them in the skin. And this is because a lot of the nutrients would just disappear into the boiling liquid if you were to peel them before you boil them. They are a little bit hot to handle, but you have to press them through the potato ricer while they're still hot. So a little bit of pain, a lot of gain. This is one of those jobs that it's best done with a helping hand, hence my sister here in the kitchen. See, she's already finished. Okay, you get the potato ricer then. Okay. Just cut them into chunks. And look, if you don't have a potato ricer, just use a potato masher. And obviously, the better the potatoes, the better your gnocchi, because this is where the flavor lies. I'm using what at the supermarket you will find labeled as dirt potatoes. You can use red potatoes. Actually, red potatoes are really particularly good for gnocchi because they're really quite starchy. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna make a well in the center. Fai un buchino. We add 1 yolk. I'm gonna just get rid of the white. That's it. Excuse my fingers. And we're gonna add some flour. Don't add it all at once, because you really never know how much you're gonna need until you start kneading. If you add too much, there's very little room for you to correct it. It's feeling good already, to be honest. It's quite smooth, and I'm just gonna sprinkle some flour on top of it. And that's your gnocchi dough done. And the great thing about it is that it doesn't even have to rest. We're just gonna cut the dough into pieces, roll them into sausages. And this is where you can let your fantasy go wild. You can roll them as big as our paternal nonna used to do, or you can make them a little bit pretty. And I think because we're serving this gnocchi with a really lovely zucchini and zucchini blossom sauce, I think we're gonna go for pretty today. So you get your knife, and you cut your gnocchi about this big. And then you get your gnocchi roller, and you literally just press them across. And ta-da! There's a beautiful pattern that's embossed on the surface of the gnocchi. What that will do, yes, it looks pretty, but it serves a really useful purpose. It will trap the sauce. If you don't have a gnocchi roller, our nonna used to use a fork. Just dust it with a bit of flour so that it doesn't stick. Get your gnocchi, press it down gently, and that's it. We're basically ready to make the sauce. And I'm gonna use the most beautiful zucchini with the blossoms still attached. And we're just gonna pan fry those with a little bit of shallots, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, and a little bit of vegetable stock. And then we're gonna boil the gnocchi, lift them out, and chuck them straight into the saucepan. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, so as soon as the gnocchi come up to the surface, that means that they're ready, and I'm gonna lift them out and drop them straight into the zucchini blossom sauce.
Now all that needs to be done is cook the gnocchi for a couple of minutes and gently
Passami il piatto. I see you already have the wine going.
Yes.
Good girl.
Thank you.
Put some pecorino on top. Salute.